Man, I'm sittin' here on this busted couch, heart poundin' like a bass drum, tryin' to replay that day in my head like some crackly-ass VHS tape, even though it still don't make sense. I swear, I can feel my palms sweatin', my chest tight, and my mind spin like a busted ceiling fan. Yo, I'm Monique, 32 years old, and this is the raw, unfiltered truth of how I lost my baby girl not once, but twice, all in one hellish cycle. If you asked me, it's a straight-up tragedy wrapped in hood drama, and I'm still picking up the pieces. It all started on a humid Thursday morning, July 14th, 2025, in our cramped-ass apartment in the projects on the south side of Chicago. I woke up around 7:15 a.m., hit snooze like 3 times, finally peeled myself off that lumpy pull-out couch mattress I'd been sleeping on, and rubbed my eyes. My head pounded from the 2-for-1 tequila shots I slammed at Marcus's last night. I was shit-faced by 10 p.m., talking big shit to everybody about how I was gonna be a better mom than those bougie Instagram influencer moms. I walked to the bathroom, tipped the scale with my half-hungover self, brushed my teeth, tied my hair up in some messy bun, and threw on an old gray hoodie and ripped jeans. I grabbed a granola bar off the fold-out table, didn't even wait to put on my sneakers, and stumbled into the kitchen. Our starter home is a 2-bedroom in a rundown complex off King Drive. One bedroom is basically a walk-in closet for Dre's shoes and my clothes. The living room is where I sleep. The walls got holes, the elevator is always broken, and there's a roach or 2 scuttling across the linoleum floor every damn day. The neighbor's kid screams Fortnite at the top of his lungs every morning before the sun even rises. That's life. I grabbed a bowl of Frosted Flakes for my daughter, Tia. Her real name's Tamara, but I call her Tia. She's 6, big brown eyes, curly hair that don't obey any brush, and a laugh that still warms me more than any coffee could. I set the bowl in front of her at the tiny kitchen table made of particle board, and she dug in, crunching those cereal flakes like she owned the world. Tia was adopted when she was 2 months old, through CPS. Her birth mom, LaToya, was strung out, couldn't feed her, and didn't show up for any visits. The caseworker told me LaToya was 19 when she had Tia, lived in Englewood, had been in and out of rehab, and her parents kicked her out for being a pregnant teenager. They painted LaToya like a junkie stereotype. The week I took Tia home, I remember looking at her on that metal crib, hair splayed out, tiny fists clenching. I felt this fire in my chest, knew I was protecting her from everything that tried to drag her down. My best friend Jada, from way back in elementary school, used to say, "Girl, you sure you can handle this? You got Pizza King job, Dre barely makes ends meet, and you still party. Think you fit to be a mom?" I looked at her like she was trippin'. "Jada, baby, I got this. Ain't nobody gonna treat my baby like she's nothing." I didn't doubt it for a second. That morning, while Tia munched cereal, I shot a quick text to Dre. "Boo, feelin' hella late, kid sick." He texted back about taking her work shoes to the cobbler. Dre works at that FedEx warehouse down the street, grueling shifts, stacking boxes, and dodging supervisors who play favorites. He's been trying to get promoted for months, but some dude who did time with the boss in high school always snatches the spot. He promised to hustle Uber on weekends, fix that busted Honda, and treat me to a cute piece of jewelry for her birthday. We share that car, juggling bills, rent, phone, water, Carhartt brand outfits so people don't look at us like hood rats. We're scrappin' but doing our best to keep the lights on and keep Tia fed. I drop Tia off at Riverdale Daycare by 8 a.m. Ms. Brown, this sweetheart older black lady, always says, "Good morning, Monique. Sweethearts out here shining like sunshine." I smile, nod. I could see she cares. Then I catch the bus to work at Pizza King, punch in at 9. I run the drive-thru, take orders, serve wings, hustle tips. My coworkers joke how I can't live without buffalo sauce. I clock out at 5, sprint to pick up Tia at 6, or 6:15 if I'm covering for Dave in the back. We head to the grocery store on 63rd and King, just the usual, milk, chips, sometimes a pack of baby wipes if I stretch it. Bread is expensive, and yeah, I check my Cash App to make sure $20 will last the week. Dre picks me up at 6:30, wide-eyed from the warehouse. He's coated in dust, coffee-stained polo, talking about how he'll start Uber shifts to make up for missing my birthday. Some nights, he turns down extra hours to coach Tia on her homework. We're tryna, you feel me? Most nights, dinner is SpaghettiOs or frozen chicken patties. Honestly, Tia just wants something hot. We both dream, me of working in PR, getting that Instagram brand deal, living like one of them boss babes. Dre wants to move up at FedEx, maybe get a pickup truck one day. We hustle, pass each other bills, ride this wave. I thought life was steady, routine, small triumphs. But the block's gossip whisper starts when this random girl posts on Facebook about how she adopted from the same foster home Tia did. She posts something like, "CPS is trash, y'all kids don't belong with trash folk." That shit spread like wildfire. Ms. Carter in 3B tells Ms. Jenkins in 4A, who tells her cousin, who tells my cousin Deja, who tells me, "Girl, they talkin' 'bout you and that baby." I tried to drown the stress by taking Tia to the corner store, buying her Hi-C and a pack of cheese puffs. We sat on the stoop, watching roaches crawl across the streetlight. I held her close, told her, "Mama got this, boo." She nodded, looking up at me with that pure trust. That's when I felt like I couldn't fuck up, didn't want to let her down. That momentum crashed on July 14th. Dawning hot as hell, sweat dripping off my forehead before I even hit the floor. I dropped Tia off like usual at daycare. She was Logan, clutching her little Minnie Mouse backpack. I texted Dre, "I got this, baby," and strutted into Pizza King. Had my hair done courtesy of Auntie Janice, wore a fresh apron. I told Dre on the phone, "I'm finna kill it today." He winked. "Get that bag, mama." But at 11:30 a.m. my phone rang. It was Deja, breath crackling on the line. "Moni, you gotta come, something wrong with Tia." My heart froze. I called Ms. Brown, I got her voicemail. I dialed Thrill, no answer. Panic slithered up my spine. I shoved a handful of fries in my mouth, dumped my apron on the counter, and booked it out the door. I screeched into daycare parking lot, saw Ms. Brown standing beside a police cruiser with officers talking to frantic parents. My stomach dropped. Dre was there, pacing, sweating like he ran a marathon. I barreled to him. "What happened? Where's my baby?" His eyes glossy. "They say she walked out. Some woman in a black SUV." I got livid, slapped him across the face. "What the fuck you talking about? How'd she get out?" He shook his head. "They say she was crying, saying she wanted her real mom." I collapsed, knees buckled, screaming, "No!" Tears stung, vision blurred. I grabbed Ms. Brown's arm. "Find my baby!" She said they called CPS and the cops. I couldn't hear shit but my own heartbeat pounding. I dialed the foster agency's emergency hotline with trembling fingers, voice shrill. "My baby's gone!" They promised an investigator. But me and Dre? We hopped in the Honda, tires spinning, and tore through every block, corner stores, alleys. I yelled, "Tia! Tia!" to every stranger who looked at me like some hood lunatic. Phone rang off the hook, mama, aunties, cousins, cops, Ms. Brown, the detective all blowing up my phone. By 5 p.m., sun sank, sweat and tears soaked me, and I was heaving on the pavement. Dre sat beside me, head in hands, whispering, "She's gone, Moni." Then Detective Matthews rolled up, a calm black dude with gray at his temples. He sat us in his Impala, showed us a mugshot, a woman older than me, in a gray hoodie, holding a kid's hand. The woman's voice on the 911 call was smooth, cold, like Latoya's, I thought. My stomach flipped, I puked by the curb. Meanwhile, Dre held me, whispering, Our baby, our baby." My phone dinged. "Mom, saw a post on Nextdoor, some woman claiming she got your baby. Says she her birth mom." Everything pulled into a hollow ache. Night fell, and we sat in the detective's office for hours. A map spread out, pins and string connecting random tips. "Saw a woman matching description picking up tamales, kid crying on Kedzie and Higgins." We chased leads till midnight. My hoodie was soggy in tears. Dre's phone died. Mine was at 1%. We just argued. Him blame me for telling Tia that Latoya threw her away, me yelling at him for not fixin' daycare lockdown. Neither of us knew shit. At 1 a.m. we got a call. Officer Matthews, go to Lee's Quick Mart on Bridewell. We rolled up to that dingy corner store with flickering neon. I darted in, scan aisles, stale chips, lotto scratch-offs, neon slushy machines. In the back I saw her, that woman from the ID photo, a Boston Red Sox cap, gray hoodie, cling tight to Tia's hand. My knees buckled, I lunged. Tia! Baby! The kid buried her head in that woman's side. The woman met my eyes. She's mine! My blood froze. I said, No! That's my daughter! She shook her head, spit venom. You threw me away too, so I don't owe you shit. That chill raced through me. She was Latoya, Tia's birth mom. Terror shot through me. She dragged Tia through a crappy back door into an alley. Dre and I gave chase, but my heels got stuck in potholes. In a second, they hopped into a black SUV, tires screeching and spraying gravel. I screamed, Let my baby go! But they sped off. I collapsed, wailing, Dre sobbing beside me. Latoya's words rang. You threw me away. And suddenly, Tia was gone. That was the first crushing blow, losing her once because I ran my mouth about Latoya, telling my 6-year-old her birth mom. Threw her away like trash. I never meant for Tia to hear that like gospel. I thought I was protecting her, making her grateful. I had that day told her, Baby, your birth mom threw you away like trash. We took care of you like pure gold. I wanted her to know she was loved, but I never imagined she'd chase those words to seek out Latoya on her own. We went home to a silent apartment. The quiet felt louder than the gunshots I heard nearly every night on this block. I made ramen noodles, sat on the edge of my bed, stared at the silver heart necklace I got Tia for Christmas. Dre sat on the other bed, head buried in his hands, breathing shallow. I said, Babe, I didn't think she'd run. He looked up, eyes red. You fucked up. You knew how dangerous that woman was, and you told your child to believe your damn lie. I just nodded, tears blinding me. I stared at the heart pendant that read, T.I., and felt it throttle me. Next morning, a knock on the door. Detective Matthews handed us an envelope with a grainy photograph, a tiny body wrapped in white, little shoes kicked off. The coroner's stamp read, Found July 15th, 2025. Presumed birth mother's home. My stomach twisted. Dre grabbed it. I dropped to my knees, fingers grazed the floor. No. That ain't my baby. But it was. I collapsed, cried out, while Dre held me tight. They took me to Stroger Hospital 'cause I passed out in the street earlier. I woke in a white bed, for in my arm, beeping machine. I whispered, Is she okay? Nurse shook her head. Ma'am, they need you to identify the body. I faintly remembered holding my dying baby at Latoya's apartment. She choked to death, Latoya too strung out to help. I had failed Tia, my lie planted that seed. I almost killed her twice. My body went numb when I had to confirm. I held her stiff little hand, felt her cool skin. I couldn't breathe. I screamed when the nurse laid her casket out in front of me. I collapsed, howling. I saw everyone, Mama, Auntie Janice, Jada, block folks, all crying. I felt hollow, no mercy, just shame. Tia's funeral was a blur. White casket, hymns, people crying in the church basement over fried chicken and sweet tea. Everybody said, She's in heaven now. But I wanted her right here, right now, not some afterlife bullshit. I wanted to rip Latoya's heart out. I wanted to yell at everybody. But instead I just stared at her casket like it was some stranger. After the funeral, CPS called. They said I was unstable and unfit. We can't leave you alone with other kids, they said. I barely spoke. I signed those papers, forfeiting my parental rights. Dre sat next to me, pen trembling. I didn't fight. What was the point? I'd lost her. I scribbled my name with a steady hand, and they took me away like some criminal. The entire block turned silent, no more neighborly hellos, just cold stares when I walked by. I was a monster. I was a coward. I deserved that. For the rest of the summer, I buried myself, literally, in that apartment. Dre moved into his mama's spare room. I stayed on the pull-out couch. I drank cheap whiskey, smoked weed, slept till noon. I didn't go to Pizza King or Waffle House or whatever job I had. I didn't answer my phone. The world moved on like I never existed, while I sat in that moldy living room, replaying my sin on loop. Fall came, September rolled around, and I still didn't talk to Dre. He tried. He said, "Moni baby, we gotta heal if we gonna move on." I shoved him away. I quit my job. I pretty much gave up on cooking, ordered overpriced Uber Eats when I could afford it. Mama would knock on the door, bring me pots of gumbo, but I left her on the porch. Auntie Janice sent me haircare Instagram ads, hoping I'd style my life, but I just shrugged. My face stayed puffy from crying. By late September, I got a court notice. It was gonna be my day to fight for Tia's custody. I looked at that notice and laughed bitterly. What custody? She's 6 feet under. But I showed up anyway at the juvenile court building, the judge asked. "Ms. Jones, you understand the circumstances?" I nodded, tears seeping. I said, "Your Honor, I want to fight to keep my parental rights." They stared at me like I was insane. The judge said, "Your rights were terminated. You may petition for reinstatement, but you're not likely to succeed." I blinked, stomach dropped. "So that means?" They said. "You lost them once, you lost them twice with her death. We can't unring that bell." I left that courtroom in pieces, felt cornered in the world. By November, I was living with Mama. Her house is a tiny 2-room bungalow in Englewood. Purple walls, single bed, window air conditioner that rattles like a dying train. I crashed on the living room sofa. Mama cooked pork chops and macaroni, but food tasted like ash. I tried therapy once. Dr. Simmons, a black woman who ran a clinic on the west side. She stared at me, her eyebrows raised. "Monique, you gotta confront this guilt." I snapped. "How?" "My baby is dead. Ain't no fixin' this." She said, "You gotta face the truth if you ever wanna breathe again." I snorted. "Breathe? I'm drowning." She sighed. I never went back. Winter froze the city in December. I worked nights at Waffle House down on Michigan Avenue. Didn't matter, I sucked at flip-flop and hash browns. I needed a check. I'd pour coffee all night, serving drunks and shift workers, smile through bleary eyes, then crash for a couple hours in the break room till my shift started. My eyes were red, ringed in dark circles. I looked like hell, but I didn't care. One night, a drunk dude tried to hit on me. I said, "Get lost, Grandpa." He laughed, left me a $20 tip, said, "You got fire, babe." I pocketed the tip, said, "Thanks," and nearly cried. January came, Tia's 7th birthday passed. I sat in my mama's racism-stained recliner, ate a store-bought cupcake. I scrawled, "Happy birthday, Tia," in lipstick on a scrap of paper and slid it under my mama's front door. Didn't see it returned. I cried on that couch, whispering, "I love you." She didn't hear. She was gone. A few days later, I got another court letter, questionnaire about parental rights reinstatement. I ignored it. I had nothing left. Then in March, something wild happened. I was scrolling Instagram in my mama's living room when I saw a post from next door, a little girl found wandering in northwest Indiana after a week missing. They posted a photo. My stomach turned. I recognized those braids, that forehead, those big brown eyes. I zoomed in. Couldn't be. Could it? I don't have kids anymore. I stared at that screen, phone slipping. I finally texted Dre. "Yo, did you see this? Photo